Hello Facebook. I hope that everybody is doing well today. Wow. We had some tech issues here at Plant Trainers. I really do apologize for that, but I'd love to thank you all for being here, for waiting it out, for joining. Hello, John. Nice to see you. So glad that you're here. All right. For those of you who are wondering, where was it? I missed it. I'm here on the replay. I really wanted to catch it live. You did get the time right. It was 1 p.m. Eastern time, but for some reason, my telephone did not want Facebook to allow me to go live. So I needed to reinstall a new app, and here we are. I'm so happy to see you all. For those of you who don't know me and who are new here, you may have seen the advertisement go out that said, hey, Shoshana's going live. She's going to talk about superfoods. I'm Shoshana Chaim. I am one of the co-hosts of the Plant Trainers podcast, along with my husband, Adam. I am a plant-based health and wellness coach, helping you to alleviate the stresses in life that's caused by diet, that's caused by lifestyle, that's caused by what should I eat? People don't agree with me. I don't know what to do. Where do I start? I need to be accountable. Don't worry. I am here for you. I am here for you. The first thing that I would love for you to do today, hey Jess, the first thing that I'd love for you to do today, if you don't already follow us, I'd love you to press that little button down below that says follow. Thanks for all the hearts. That way, when I do go live, you will be notified that I am live or Adam is live, and we are helping to inspire, helping you to really create a better life and improve your quality of life through nutrition, fitness, and all those other good lifestyle things that go on in our home, that go on in our biz, and that we can help you with as well. Jess, you just finished your live. So glad. Did you say, divine timing? I thought you said you're driving, and I'm like, don't watch while you're driving. Please don't watch while you're driving. Anyway, what we are going to talk about today is superfoods. So number one, make sure that you've pressed followed below. Number two, tag anybody who you believe will benefit from learning about superfoods and how they can help enhance your life a little bit. So go right ahead and do that now. Do you know what a superfood is? If you know what a superfood is, give me a thumbs up. Doesn't matter if you're on the replay or you're live. I'm going to come back in here later. I'm going to look at the comments too. So give me a thumbs up if you know what a superfood is. A superfood is exactly that. It is a food with super high beneficial nutrients. It is so super amazing for your overall health, and we call them a superfood. And there we go, lots of thumbs up. Lots of people think that superfoods need to be crazy expensive, that they need to be crazy exotic, and that it's just not good for them because it doesn't work within their lifestyle. So what I did today is I plan to talk about a few different superfoods, and I have them all here beside me, a few different superfoods. I'm going to tell you some crazy facts about them. I'm going to tell you why they're good for you. I'm going to tell you the ups and downs about them, why they are super beneficial, and what some of those downfalls are to them as well. And I'm going to let you decide how to incorporate them into your life. Of course, everything here is plant-based because at Plant Trainers, we meet you where you are, but everything that we put out is really to help you enhance your plant-based living, your plant-based wellness to really get you going. So for those of you who are here, just joining me now, hello, thanks so much for being here today. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is goji berries because we love them around here. So goji berries are these dried up little berries. See them? Can you see that? Woo! There you go. Hey, Lorraine. Are these little dried up berries, and they are sometimes called wolf berries as well. They're native to Asia, but they make it all the way here to North America. Wow, is it amazing what can be done? What can be done these days. So basically, they help to boost your immune system. So just popping these berries helps you to boost your immune system. It can boost your brain activity. It's got vitamin C in them, and vitamin C is something that I'm going to talk about a lot today. But basically, vitamin C helps to repair your tissues, and that's why it's so important. It also helps with the absorption of iron, which these little guys happen to have as well. And why do you want iron? Because it helps your blood stay healthy. It helps you carry your oxygen throughout the body, getting it to all of those different extremities, and make sure that your skin and your body is working properly. So iron is really important. And we've heard about anemia. We all know what happens in the body, when we are not getting enough iron, we get fatigued, our body doesn't work properly. So iron is really important, especially paired up with vitamin C. So eating these goji berries all together really helps with iron absorption into the body as well. It's also got B2, and you hear about vitamin Bs all the time, and there's different ones, but B2 is really what helps you to break down the protein that you're eating. So B2 is very important because we need to break down these nutrients to be able to absorb them, for the body to be able to use them properly. And of course, they've got antioxidants. Antioxidants helps the body, it helps protect the body from free radicals, and antioxidants helps bring down inflammation in the body as well. So if you're somebody who's suffering with arthritis, who's got knee issues, who's got really swollen ankles, you're gonna wanna eat foods that are really high in antioxidants as well. So how can we eat these goji berries? Well, number one, and these are soft. I just bought this package. These are soft. Sometimes they do get a little bit hard. Here's some leftover ones from another package, and you can hear how hard they are. I just take them out of the package and I put them in a little mason jar. But you could just eat them as is. So let's say you're going to the movies. Instead of getting the Twizzlers, instead of getting the Jujubes, just bring with some of these. They're a little tart, but a little bit sweet as well, and they're chewy. So it's great to replace those other unhealthy foods that we're eating. You could add them into trail mixes as well. You could put them on top of smoothies or in smoothies. You could put them in recipes, in stir fries. You might want to rehydrate them first just by putting them in a little bit of water, and then they kind of puff back up again, and you could put them in some stir fries. You could put them in baking. You could put them in your cereals. Adam puts them, oh, Adam's watching, hey. You could put them in your cereal as well. And if you've seen our Instagram, at Plant Trainers on Instagram, we'll very often post some of Adam's amazing oatmeal bowls. And he has a lot of goji berries happening in there as well, especially some of his banana mash too. So that is the 411 on goji berries. Now, I told you that I tell you why I suggest them and why maybe you wouldn't want to use them. So I love them because they're so versatile. They can go into everything, and they're really packing a big punch. Why you might not want to eat goji berries is because they are a little bit on the expensive side. I mean, if we're talking about $16, $17 for 227 grams. That seems like a lot at the time, but it really does last a long time too. So if you break it down to servings, it's really not that much. But overall, buying a bag of that would increase your grocery bill. So if you're watching your pennies, it might not be the best thing, but don't worry because I have other amazing ideas for you today. Do you have any questions about goji berries? Don't be scared to ask questions at any time. I'm here for you. I'm here to educate you. I have about 6 superfoods planned for you today. 5 superfoods planned for you today. But if I don't get through them all because you guys have questions and want to dive deep and learn more, don't worry. Don't be afraid to ask questions at any time, especially if you're on the replay, because I will pop back in and I will talk to you about that. All right, so let's say bye-bye, Gojis. All right, the next thing that I want to talk about is, let's see if you could guess. What's up? Kale. Kale is amazing. And you might be rolling your eyes and saying, oh, enough about kale already. But the truth is I just can't get enough of kale. I had a huge salad with some spring mix, but mostly kale with some cashew ranch dressing on it for lunch today. And it was amazing. Mostly because I knew how much nutrients that I was getting from the kale. So let's work backwards here. Kale, why would you want to incorporate kale as a superfood? Because it's cheap and it grows like weeds. This $1.97 for a bunch of kales. Sometimes they're small like this, other times they're humongous. So you really don't have to worry about what the price of the kale is. The other thing is, gardening season should be here in Toronto and in northern United States. It's really not because we have all this snow again. In fact, I was supposed to be in the garden today talking to you and I changed my mind. But Growing kale in your garden, it grows like weeds. It can grow in any kind of dirt, any kind of soil. It doesn't really matter if you have a lot of light or doesn't. So kale is something that's really easy to grow on your own. And then you could be growing you could be super person growing your own super kale. So that is a positive. A negative, why you might not want to eat kale, is certain thyroid conditions do not mix well with kale. So you want to be careful for that. But for the general public, yeah, you may have read articles that say, oh, if you eat too much kale, all of these bad things are going to happen. You're going to grow a third eyeball and a fourth ear and all of these other things. But the truth is we need to make sure we know who's writing these things, what they're basing their articles on. And I mean, it could be your grandmother's brother in his bathroom with his socks pulled up to his, all the way up his legs, just writing anything. So you need to be careful. You need to trust who you're reading from. But for the general public, it is really too hard to overeat kale. So don't worry about that. Kale comes in a lot of different varieties. I have 2 curly varieties. So I have the green one today and I have the red one. And you could kind of see that there's a red tint in there and that the veins are red, right? Kind of purpley and red. So it makes a really nice salad, especially if you're going out. You could cut it really, really, really thin and you can massage it in a little bit there too so that it kind of breaks down the fibers a little bit so it's not quite as hard and crunchy. There's also dinosaur kale and all other sorts of kales, or sometimes dinosaur kale is called black kale, and it's more, the leaves are not curly, they're kind of long, and sometimes they use kale outside of public institutions like libraries or community centers, and they actually grow kale in pots because it is so, it just stands up to anything. So it looks beautiful sitting there in the pot and it doesn't break down, and the animals don't really eat it over there because there's so many cars and such. So kale is awesome because it has more iron than a pound of beef in a pound of kale. So if we're worried about our iron and we're worried about where we're going to get it from, we need to make sure that we're not just, eating pasta all day long. We need to make sure that we're getting these amazing superfoods in. It's also really heart healthy. So if you're going to eat so much kale, chances are you're going to be eating less of all of these other foods that aren't as good for your heart. So I know that there's lots of people out there, especially Sam, who's really concerned about a family member right now and their heart. When you start to add in these superfoods that I'm talking about today, not only do some of them have protective issues, not only are some of them protective against heart issues, but when we're eating so much of them, we don't have as much room and as much time and as much passion for eating all the things that are going to actually hurt us. There's fiber in these guys. There is lots and lots of fiber, and that's a great way to get things moving. Part of the reason why colon and rectal cancers are so prevalent right now in the United States and Canada is because we are eating so much meat, not we, but we as a society are eating so much meat and we're not pooping enough. And those meats and those carcinogens are sitting there in our colon, getting absorbed into the body, and therefore the cancers are starting to come out. So it's really, really dangerous to not have good movement. So you want to make sure that you are going. And if you listen to the Plant Trainers podcast, and if you don't, subscribe right now. If you listen to the Plant Trainers podcast, you know that I love talking about poop, and we could talk about poop more another time. But not only is fiber good for pooping, but it fills you up. It fills you up. So eating it fills you up with less calories than a lot of the other foods out there. And also the fiber is going to help to stabilize blood sugars. So people who have issues with blood sugar, people who have heart issues, people who are backed up, eating kale and eating these other foods that I'm talking about today are 100% important for you, because it means that you're going to be getting as much help as possible to either try to prevent or even reverse some of these issues that are coming up. Kale has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, right? So like I talked about before, there's antioxidants in there. It's protecting the cells. It's reducing inflammation in the right places. It's rejuvenating the cells, which is really, really important. Thumbs up. Yeah, let me see them. I love those thumbs up. I love you guys. I really do. And of course, your immune system will be boosted up when you eat good, healthy greens like kale. So eat it up, especially when seasons change, because that's when we seem to be catching more bugs. That's when our immune system is down, the walls are broken down a little bit, and more germs start getting in. Those are the times when you want to be eating as much good foods as possible, especially when you are actually sick. Because when you are sick, you want to go back to those comfort foods, right? You want to go back to whatever makes you feel good. Oh, I'm sick anyway. I'm just going to eat the potato chips. I'm just going to eat mac and cheese all day. But these are the foods that are going to help build your system up. Kale is a food that is going to help bring your body back to life. So you want to make sure that you do that. Also packed with vitamin C that helps absorb that iron as well. So it's cyclical. It's like it was made knowing that we needed to have iron boosts. And there you go. It's all made right there for you. It's amazing in soups. It's amazing in salads. So what I would do for soups is you could blend the soup, or you can slice it up really, really thin and just put it in the soup once the soup's already cooked, and it kind of just melts in there. And that way it's not as thick and chewy, and it kind of gets sauteed. You could saute it, you could put it in your stir fries. There's so many amazing opportunities to use kale. Hey, Abby, hope you're doing good. There's so many amazing opportunities to use kale, but what my kids love the best is the kale chips. Kale chips are awesome. And if you want me to possibly do a video on how to make kale chips without any oil, then give me some thumbs up and I will put that down on my list, because whatever you guys want, I'm here for you. I am here to help you to improve your quality of life. So let's move on, shall we? All right, we just did something green. So I have something white here, but it's not all white. We're going to talk about, there we go, some hearts. We're going to talk about quinoa. Quinoa, here we go, is a pseudo grain. It's actually not a grain, it's a seed. So we call it a pseudo grain. It's eaten like a grain. It's considered a grain in a lot of different culinary ways, but it is actually a seed. Let me see. Kale chips last about 3 minutes in our house before they are gone. Right, exactly. They do. So you've fallen in love with quinoa. Well, fall in love with quinoa. Do it. Do it. Quinoa is amazing. It's really great if you replace some of the pasta that you're eating in the house with quinoa, because quinoa is a whole food, where pasta has quinoa, might have quinoa in it, might have other grains in it, but they've actually been milled down to become a flour. So you're getting so many calories, so many carbohydrates, so much of that grain made down to create that one piece of pasta that you eat, where if you would eat a cup of pasta or a cup of quinoa, you're going to be getting more whole nutrients, and it's going to keep you fuller for lower calories for longer. Not that I talk about calories a lot, but it's important to understand how these foods are working in your body. So that's one of the downsides to quinoa, is that it's being put in everything these days. It's being milled down into flour, and it's being put into muffins, and it's being put into pasta, and it's being put into burgers and all of these other things. But what else is coming with it? Are there eggs there? Is there whey there? Is there dairy, which is whey, in there? Is there, are there oils, right? What is the point that you want? What is your goal? And do those other foods fit your goal? Or does a whole grain, or a whole pseudo grain, we'll call it, fit your goal? So quinoa comes from South America. It comes from South America, and it's really versatile. It could be used for any meal of the day. I've had quinoa with blueberries and cinnamon and a touch of maple syrup for breakfast. For lunch, it's great with all kinds of vegetables. For dinner as well, you could make all kinds. You could put it in your soups. You could put it on top of salads, and it doesn't have much of a flavor, a little bit of a nutty flavor, but whatever you are adding to it, it will continue to take on that flavor as well. Why it's amazing is because it is a complete protein. Now, that's not as important as you might think it is, but at the end of the day, eating a complete protein and your body not having to work together to match the protein that comes from this food and the protein that comes from that food and putting it all together, it's helping your body, and it's giving you some complete protein. It's going to help stabilize blood sugar. So eating too much of it can still spike blood sugar a little bit, but basically this, compared to eating any other grains, it's much more stabilizing. It also has a lot of lysine. not Lysol, people, lysine. And why lysine is important is because that's what helps to heal wounds. That's what helps our body recover after workouts. So having some quinoa in your salad, with your kale salad and your goji berries after a good workout, or a little bit after a good workout, once you calm down a little bit, is definitely a great way to help heal the body. It's high in iron and it's high in magnesium. So we are looking at strong bodies here, people, very strong bodies. All right. So thumbs up if you have had quinoa before. I want to know. I want to know. And if you have a favorite quinoa recipe, you could write it down below in the comments as well. All right. Ready for the next one? The next one is going to be green as well. I'm going to save that one for last. Okay. We are going to go then with pepitas. Let me know, do you know what a pepita is? Do you know what a pepita is? Pepita is more of the Spanish type word for, drum roll please. There we go. Those little guys, right? Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are also known as pepitas. You're making collard with black peas tonight and putting in quinoa. Amazing. That sounds great. You could sprinkle some pepitas on top of there as well, pumpkin seeds, because these guys are super. They are super foods. Again, pretty common these days, right? Pretty common, but they have a huge punch of iron in them, right? So that's what's going to help our blood. That's what's going to help us not become anemic. That's what's going to help get that oxygen flowing throughout the body, keep that red blood cells stable, doing what they need to be doing. It's also got a lot of protein, which of course, like I said before, helps repair the tissues. And it's got a ton of potassium, and that's really good for heart function. And again, if you're eating these raw pepitas, we want to get the raw ones, not the ones that are saturated in oil, not the ones that are already roasted. You want to get the raw pepitas, because eating these instead of eating potato chips means that you're not getting all of that saturated fat. It means that you're not getting the extra oil. So it's going to be very protective to the heart eating these instead of eating all of those other things. Right? It's also got magnesium, which is really good to help control blood pressure. It's good for excellent blood sugar as well. So to help regulate the blood sugar, to help regulate the blood pressure, for overall nerve function, these pepitas are the way to go. They've got a ton of fiber. So like I mentioned before, fiber helps keep us full. Fiber can help fight against diseases, especially with all the other nutrients that come with those fibrous foods. Not the same as just taking Metamucil. And it's good for the movement. It's good to try to get everything out of your body. But of course, one of the downsides is if you eat way too many of these, it can actually back you up. So there's a fine line there, people. You don't want to overeat them, but having a handful here and there is definitely not going to back you up. It's going to help you. You wanted to season them. Any suggestions other than oil? Well, the problem with seasoning them, if you're not going to use oil, sometimes is getting everything to stick to it. So what I haven't done, but the first thing that comes off the top of my head, is to make a little bit of a flax mixture and add the seasoning in with the flax mixture and kind of make some baked nuggets, right? Like baked pepita nuggets. It might be a good idea to try that. Water, I think, would just kind of dissolve away, but maybe their own oils might come out in the baking, and maybe then your seasoning might stick to it. So give it a try and definitely let us know. And I might actually give it a try as well. How you can use these? Well, they can go into your trail mix as well. So put them in the trail mix with your goji berries, right? Bring that to the movie theater instead of popcorn. Have that at home as a snack at work. Or, you could put them into burgers, and I actually do put them into the Plant Trainer sweet potato burgers. So there are pepitas in there. You could put it into, you could put it on top of soups. You could put it on top of salads. So match it up with our kale over here, and the vitamin C from the kale is going to help absorb the iron in the kale, but also absorb the iron in the pepitas. You could eat it with the shell. But the problem, one of the downfalls to these also, is that if you eat it with the shell, it might erode your teeth, and it might help your dentist instead of help you, if you know what I mean. So you might want to try getting the ones that are hulled already, and you want to make sure that they are not yet baked or seasoned or oiled. You want them to be raw. Again, if you're going organic, might be a little pricey to the pocketbook, but well worth it because you're getting a lot of nutrition for that punch. So that is something that I recommend 100% to add to your superfood list. And again, not crazy exotic, something we've heard of, something that's around, something that's easy to get in the regular grocery store. These superfoods do not have to be, crazy like turmeric. Okay, turmeric's not so crazy these days anymore, but it doesn't have to be spirulina. It doesn't have to be maca. It could be something that we find every day in our grocery stores here without having to go to specialized grocery stores as well. Yeah, your dentist doesn't need the help. That's right. Neither does mine. Neither does my insurance company, right? All right. So finally, for today, I have the one, the only Brock and roll, people. Broccoli. This one has a cape. Okay, so check it out. This is a superfood because not only is it broccoli, but it's got its own little cape. All right. So why I love broccoli is because so many children love broccoli. And I think that it's important, instead of getting your children to eat the goji berries, it's really important to get your children to eat the broccoli. And if they love the broccoli, give it to them. Continue to give it to them. Broccoli is actually not a 100% natural food. It was breeded. It was breeded to make broccoli in the Mediterranean quite a while ago. So when we start to think, like, oh, they're breeding new foods, is it necessary? That's awful. That's disgusting. I'm never going to eat that. It's GMO. It doesn't mean that it's GMO. It doesn't mean any of those things. You need to do the research. You need to find out what is happening in your body, because something like broccoli that we are so used to eating is actually not a natural food on its own. It's actually been bred to be like this. It is cruciferous. Amazing. Points for Jessica. Good job. It is cruciferous, and that means that it's a little bit more fibrous, a little bit higher in nutrients. It is great for your body, and you want to try to incorporate cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, like cauliflower, like bok choy, like cabbage into your diet every single day. So broccoli is a great way to do that because it's so easily found, because usually everybody in the family likes it, and if they don't, then I can help you with that, because broccoli is something that you can get in restaurants as well. So if we're going out and we're ordering pizza, or we're ordering pasta, or we're ordering something that I know is not our typical big bang of nutrients, I always try to get a side order of broccoli that's been steamed, not sauteed in oil, that's been steamed, and not over steamed either, because I want to make sure that we all enjoy it, and I want to make sure that we still got some nutrients left in there. Tons of fiber, people, tons of fiber, heart healthy, stabilizing blood sugars, helping us stay fuller longer. Broccoli can be a whole meal on its own. Put some broccoli next to some quinoa, find a nice little sauce, and there you go. That's a meal. That's a meal. There doesn't have to be 100 working parts. This food is super high in antioxidants, which means that it's going to help get that blood flowing properly with everything that needs to be going around your body. It means that it's going to be helping to reduce some of the inflammation in the body, working on those cells, rejuvenating those cells, high in vitamin C. Do you feel like this is Groundhog Day, right? I feel like it's Groundhog Day because I keep telling you the same thing over and over again. And look at how different these foods are. We have broccoli and kale. Fine, those are a little bit because they're both green leafies. But then I have goji berries, I have pepitas, and I have quinoa. And I keep telling you the same things over again. Fiber, preventative, can help prevention of certain diseases, can help stabilize your blood sugar, can help you go to the bathroom more, can help improve your iron, right? All of these different things, all of these different foods are having a lot of the same results in the body, and eating these all day long, they're gonna up your energy. They're gonna make your skin look beautiful. They're gonna make your hair look beautiful. They're gonna make your eyes a little bit brighter. They're gonna make your body function so much better, and they're gonna help prevent against terrible diseases that 80% of them don't need to exist, do not need to happen in our body, like heart disease, like certain cancers, like diabetes, like obesity, all of these things that are taking place here in North America. really don't need to be happening if we up the superfoods. Again, really cheap. I think I bought a double one today and it was $2.97 Canadian. It was organic, and really that's an expensive price for what I normally pay. So, you know, buying non-organic broccoli, usually not too expensive. Sometimes actually I'll check the organic broccoli and the regular broccoli, and the regular broccoli is sometimes more expensive than the organic broccoli. And if broccoli's really expensive that day, just get cauliflower instead, or get some bok choy, or get some cabbage instead. Replace it with something else that's cheaper if you're worried about that. But basically, what they say is that for every 100 milligrams of broccoli or beef, you are getting almost as much iron and you're getting almost as much protein in that broccoli than you are in the beef, right? And the beef is coming with all of these other things. It's coming along with hormones. And I don't care if it's grass-fed, without antibiotics, without added hormones. That meat has hormones of itself, right? Broccoli does not have hormones of itself that are going to affect our body in any which way. So we need to make sure that we are getting this in, because this is good protein, this is good iron, this is good vitamin C, this is good fiber. Love the fiber. Love to talk about poop. You could eat it raw. You could eat it steamed. You could eat it stir-fried. You could put it in stews. You could make a coleslaw out of it. It could be a side. It could be a main dish. You can cut off the stem and then cut away those thick edges. And then you could use the inside to slice up like cucumber and put it on the top of the salad, or stir-fry it as well. But the green part, and the greener it is, the better. The green part is where we're getting most of those nutrients. The only downside to it that I could really think of is sometimes people get a little bit too much gas if they eat a little bit too much broccoli. And if you're someone who does get gas, sorry, TMI, when you eat broccoli, then I would say start small and work your way up from there. Don't just go all in if you're someone who is usually getting a lot of gas from broccoli. The other thing is if you cook the broccoli or don't cook the broccoli and don't eat it all within a few days, sometimes it just reeks. It just reeks. So you want to make sure that you're making the broccoli and that you are eating the broccoli, or you're going to end up with a really, really smelly refrigerator. Very smelly refrigerator. So my friends, I want to know from you right now, is it goji berries? Is it kale? Is it broccoli? Is it pumpkin seeds? Or is it quinoa that intrigued you the most, that inspired you the most, that you might use next, or that you learned something new that's totally awesome that you want to go and share with somebody that you know? Which superfood today did it for you? So I want you to write that down in the comments for me. I want you to tell me what that is, because I want to know. I want to know what you connected with the most today. I could tell you what I connected with the most. This kale, because I ate some of it before, and it was très good. It was very good. All right, so now that we are done talking about these amazing superfoods, what I want you to do is I want you to make sure that you've pressed that follow button below, because I will be coming on once a week and I will be teaching you so much more. So I want to be able to connect with you. I want you to be able to come back and learn. And I also want you to go over to Instagram when you close this video, and I want you to check out Instagram at Plant Trainers. There's two T's in there because it's plant and trainers put together. And I want you to check out some of our posts, and I want you to follow us there because there is lots of good stuff to come. Of course, you can always reach out to us and we are happy to answer. If you don't want to write it down below, then reach out to us personally and we will get back to you. Let's see, watching this helped me feel really good about the foods I'm choosing to eat. I wasn't accustomed to eating like this years ago, and thank you for helping me. You're welcome, Jessica. I've loved seeing you on your journey, everything that you've learned, everything that you continue to learn, and how you and your family are just flourishing on a plant-based diet. It makes me so happy. It makes me teary, but happy teary. And I'm so glad that I was with you along the way this past year. I can't believe it's a year for you already, but it is super amazing. So thank you all. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and follow us. And I just want to say thank you all for your support. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for listening to the Plant Trainers podcast. Thank you for following us here on the Plant Trainers page and what we are doing here. And I love you all. I love you all in healthy plant-based families as well. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of the week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.